Welcome to Amazing Business Radio with best-selling author and customer service and business expert, Shep Hyken. Shep will talk with some of the smartest thinkers in business to help make you more successful in your professional and personal life. This is Amazing Business Radio with Shep Hyken.
Hello, everybody. It's Shep Hyken. We're back with another episode of Amazing Business Radio. I'm very excited about our guest today, Mario Matulich. And Mario is the managing director of CMP, Customer Management Practice. They put on the largest expo and educational event in the customer support world, in the world. And it's in Vegas. It's coming up they have it every June. This year, it's June 19th. Through, I believe, 22nd. We'll confirm that with Mario when he comes on. Before we get into the interview, a couple of quick announcements. You know what they are if you have listened to the show. First, I want to thank our sponsor, Text Expander. Text Expander is an amazing productivity tool that will save hours of work, repetitive work specifically. I know our team is using it. They love it. It saves content that you type over and over again. And then what you do is you set it up so with just a couple of quick little keystrokes, it populates the content into any channel, whether it be an email, it could be something in a social channel, doesn't matter. Drops it to basically anywhere that you type. More about that at the break. If you have a question or you have a story that you would like to share, please reach out to me on any of the social media channels. I'm pretty much everywhere. If it is a question, use the hashtag #AskShep. I'll either answer it there on this show, in my newsletter, or my TV show, which is Be Amazing or Go Home. And you can catch episodes at www.beamazing.tv, or you can go on Amazon Prime or Apple TV or Roku. All right, let's get into the interview. Mario, welcome to the show.
Good to be here, Shep. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You and I go way back. And by the way, I did not know this about you. Fun fact, you went to Chaminade. Now, which Chaminade did you go to?
That is the high school on Long Island, Mineola, Long Island, New York.
And we have a Chaminade here in St. Louis. I think there's Chaminades all over. And but what was the fun fact is what happened after that. You go on to college, and a nice New York boy goes to Oklahoma.
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy journey. I ended up in Oklahoma
playing baseball.
Played baseball for Oklahoma State University, and met my wife down there, and it was a fun experience. Had the chance to go on and play a little bit of professional baseball, not too much, but it was a great experience. I actually reference it quite a bit in terms of how it transitioned my career into this space, customer management, working with customer service professionals and leaders. A lot of what I learned through that experience translated to working with teams, competing. Baseball is a sport where, you have an individual performance inside of a team framework. And I always kind of compare it to that of those that are running customer experience functions, contact center, customer contact functions. So yeah, it's surely didn't think about it when I was 19 years old, but it's funny how it's come full circle.
The disciplines are there, and you learn a lot from your coaches and your managers, no doubt about that. And and the organization you played for was Cleveland, who used to be the Indians, now the Guardians.
Yep.
That's right. That's pretty cool. And you know me, I'm a frustrated hockey player. The closest thing I ever got to playing professional was I sat next to a guy on an airplane that played professional.
Hey, listen, and we go back, so I know a lot of your connections to the Blues, and I'm sure we'll touch on that. But big hockey fan as well. Most people assume that I'm a big baseball fan because I played, but my passion lies with hockey, and so we can talk that. I mean,
I know
listeners wouldn't be as interested, but we could speak about hockey for days.
Well, one day we might want to, I'll tell you, an interesting conversation might have Coach Berube, the chief, as we like to call him here in St. Louis, who took our St. Louis Blues to the Stanley Cup, had 3 principles that I think apply to business as well. And that was, if you're going to be on the team, that means you're professional and you're good enough to play. I expect you to come to work every day to play your hardest, win or lose. Number 2, you got to take risks. You got to go out there. You got to make mistakes. I count on that. If you're not making mistakes, you're playing too safe. And number 3, you're not bigger than anyone else on the team. If you think you are, you're going to get benched. And I just love that, he created this team spirit and he did well. And as we think about the customer service and experienced professionals out there, that's what we're paid to do, is to take care of our customers. And Should we take some risk? Well, maybe it wouldn't be a risk. I just wrote an article about the line in the sand. We want to teach people how far they can go to say yes to their customers before they have to absolutely shut it down and can't do anymore. We need them to take risks and come up with creative ways. And finally, it's a team sport. Talk to your manager, talk to your colleague next to you. So anyway, this is not my interview. This is you. So you are, you're the managing director of CMP, which is Customer Management Practice. I see you a couple of times a year, maybe 3 times a year at CCW, which I just remember it used to be, the call center week, but now it's a customer center week. Yes.
Oh, it's a customer contact week, and you serve obviously on our advisory board.
I should know that, seeing that I am on the advisory board. But it's morphed into, when you think back of like, God, I'd love to be a part of that. In how many years? It's been going about 17 years.
We're actually celebrating our 25th anniversary this year.
Well, I'm only off by 8.
It was born in 1999 as Call Center Week, which is,
right.
Those that have been around the industry a long time will always remember it as Call Center Week. That's probably why at times.
That's why. I mean, yeah.
But yeah, it's evolved in the Customer Contact Week, just given obviously how our communication channels have evolved, and we're really excited for this year. It's again celebrating that 25th anniversary, and there's so much going on in the space. I think we'll get into it, but there's so many new challenges that have evolved, and so many sort of new initiatives that a lot of these leaders are spearheading. It still really is the backbone of the organization. It's the part of it. It's the straw that stirs the drink, as I like to say. It's really the front lines that are interacting for a brand with their customers, and so much comes from that, and so much is driven in terms of a brand's success in any given industry. And so it really does start with the customer, and that event is there for those professionals to be able to benchmark and learn from one another.
And that big event that's happening, the 25th anniversary, is coming up June 19th, 21st. Is that right?
June 19th to the 22nd.
22nd. Yep.
Anniversary is in Las Vegas. We obviously we run the event in Nashville and in Austin throughout the year, as you know, and we get together every year in those different locations. But
the big one's in Vegas. Yep. And by the way, you've got some great a talent lineup that's phenomenal. And if anybody's interested in learning more about how to be more effective in their contact center, you've got to come to this event. This is the event, the largest one, really, I think it's the largest one in the world, if I'm not mistaken. Others, there are, and IQPC, is that a parent company?
Yeah, so IQPC is our parent company, and yeah, they oversee our global operation, right. And CMP is North America focused right now, but yeah.
But they have events like this throughout the world, but this is the biggest one. And let's talk about who some of the talent is.
Yeah, so I'm most excited for the leaders across various groups. So we have leaders coming in from MasterCard, from DraftKings, from Hilton, speaking about best practices in customer experience, customer service, customer contact operations. Those are the people that are obviously talking about those key initiatives, different challenges that we're all facing, and that we can sort of learn from one another. But it's also this industry's, it's the flagship event for this space. And so we try to really celebrate this space as well and really give back to this space. So when we think about some of the sort of people that I think maybe will be on the headliner list there, of course, Abby Wambach's going to be talking to us about all of her leadership initiatives and things that she's done as a world-class soccer player, and sort of
I think that's so cool.
Force in many businesses as her career has evolved. We have Pitbull closing. So
yeah, Pitbull.
Yeah, we do. It's an incredible story about how Pitbull's kind of came up, sort of and developed into what he is today. That incredible name. And somebody might say, well, how does that relate to customer service? Well, he started from nothing, and so he's going to tell his story about his rise to fame and winning in his profession now, and as an entrepreneur. And there's a lot to draw from that in terms of how customer service professionals go on and do so many incredible things in their careers. And then of course we have our CCW Excellence Awards, and that's one of our favorite nights, Shep, where we get to celebrate all the phenomenal experiences and successes. So yeah, we have check it out. We have an incredible lineup, and I'm excited to get to it. It's about 6 weeks away now. So.
Yep, June 19th through 22nd in Las Vegas at Caesars Forum, which is not Caesar's Palace.
Right
but
across
it's
the street.
close. It's across the street.
It's right across the street. World-class new convention space out there.
It is really, really nice. It really is. I think this will be our third one there.
Yeah, we moved there. Actually, we were supposed to move there right as the pandemic took hold. And we went from so worried the construction was going to be completed in time. And then we were more worried about, will we ever get back together again?
Yeah. Will there ever be people to attend?
Right.
Yeah. And I remember that first one was a pretty light showing, but it was more than we thought it was going to be. And it was nice. You do a great job. And just one other comment is that you feed us well. I've never seen more food. And I have a picture of last year's breakfast. It is an egg sandwich that is actually a large donut sliced in half with egg, cheese, and bacon. And it's a glazed donut. It is unbelievable.
Our partners at Caesars are great. We have an incredible operations and logistic team. They take care of all that. And they are, we're in the experience profession. So we want to make sure people really enjoy themselves while they're there. So.
All right, so we got a little bit of your background. We know all about CCW and CMP, and it's coming up. What I want to do now is take a real short break, and when we come back, you and I are going to talk about, because you are really at the top of the industry looking at everything going on. Your advisory board is filled with the who's who of companies, the leaders of the contact center and customer experience. When we come back, we're going to talk about how AI is impacting the world of customer experience. Is it going to take away jobs? People are worried about that. And much, much more. We are talking with our good friend, Mario Matulich, and we are coming right back after a word from our sponsor. Let's talk about Text Expander, a tool that allows your team to eliminate repetitive typing with just a few keystrokes. Anything you type over and over, such as customer responses, will be at your team's fingertips, so they have the power to do what they do best, just faster. Quickly reply to emails and chats from a library of responses that you create, completing answers to common questions and issues. Your entire team stays on the same page with the same common responses that can be personalized on the fly. And it's simple to use. Type commonly used content into a text expander snippet and give it an abbreviation of just a few letters and symbols. Share the snippet with the team. When you type the abbreviation, it triggers the snippet and the content expands anywhere you type, including email, chat, or social media. It's that easy. Just go to www.textexpander.com to learn more about this amazing and productive tool. Sign up for a year and get 20% off.
You're listening to Amazing Business Radio with best-selling author and customer service and business expert, Shep Hyken.
We are back with Mario Matulich, the managing director of CMP, and he is the guy that runs CCW, the largest contact center expo in the world in Las Vegas, June 19th through 22nd at Caesars Forum. If you have anything to do with the contact center and you don't plan to be there, well, now it's time to change your mind. So what would the website be? ccw.com, CMP?
Yeah, customercontactweek.com.
Okay, customercontactweek.com. We'll make sure that's in the show notes. We promote it anyway. I mean, I'm blasting on Twitter and Instagram and everything. I appreciate
it. And it's a chance to see Shep as well. Shep will be there. So
I will be there. So, hey, well, let's jump into this. AI. Artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, chatbots. Chatbots have been around for a while, but now, it's just in the last 5 months since November, incredible things have happened. There's been this flood of capability. I talk about how Moore's Law, you're familiar with Moore's Law, that every 2 years, the microchip doubled in power. Well, I believe every month, the ability of a chatbot is more than doubling in power. I mean, the difference between ChatGPT 3 and 4 is like 1,000%.
Yeah, it's an incredible movement. Obviously, we're moving at a rapid pace. I believe we have it's a rare win-win from my perspective. I think when we think about the economic headwinds, we think about the challenges that a lot of customer contact operations have had with engaging and retaining agents in this sort of evolving environment, post-pandemic, and what needs to happen there to solve a lot of those challenges. This gives us an ability to have another solution in place. And so for a long time, this technology, I think, was always seen as a high potential technology, but only recently has started to show that promise in a more demonstrative way. So what we're finding, and we're fortunate, we have, we work with you, Shep, and a variety of other leaders across brands. Again, I mentioned earlier, ranging from MasterCard to Hilton to UPMC to Shipt and so many other brands that support insights for us in terms of what they're doing and how they're leveraging some of these emerging technologies. We have CMP Research, which is obviously doing a lot of the quantitative research around how the adoption of some of this stuff is happening. When I say it's a rare win-win, it's because, a lot of organizations will say, or a lot of people will say, ChatGPT, generative AI, other forms of self-service. Well, this is only for the financial gain of a given corporation. It's not to help serve the customer more effectively. But in this particular case, it is. And customer preferences have shifted dramatically in the last couple of years. Time is of the essence. Many customers want to self-serve. They want to be able to effectively find a quick resolution to their challenges without the assistance of another human being. And AI can unlock that. That really, we believe, is going to be the new gold standard in terms of time being spent from the customer perspective, and how brands can really reduce that time. Now, it also unlocks other opportunities. So when you think about it, not every, I think the sort of silver bullet technology, there's one every few years, as you kind of mentioned. There is something that's going to completely change the game, and often they do move the needle. But will they do exactly what we hope to do? Eliminate all customer contact professionals? Absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
What it's going to do, I believe, is it's going to allow for our phenomenal customer contact professionals to be able to focus on what they do best, and it's going to eliminate a lot of mundane work. So when we talk about it from a self-service perspective, yes, I think it's going to effectively enhance the self-service experience to the point where it's been optimized and more acceptable to the average consumer, where maybe perhaps for the most part it has not been to date. And then it's going to allow for an agent to be more effective. It's going to have assistance and support and knowledge management capabilities that are going to really take us to where we've been trying to go for a very long time, so that agents can do what they do best, serve customers. And so often, no one, and Jeff Burbridge said this recently in one of our advisory board meetings. Jeff's with Truist, but the amount of systems an agent has to learn, and going back to other experiences that Jeff had, the amount of technology transitions that are embedded into most contact centers currently, it's incredible. It's not built for the average human being.
Right. I mean, the programs, the multiple, they call them stacks, the technology stacks, all of these different programs and I've always said for years, and I'm finally starting to see it with certain providers, is that one system can bring all the information in. It's, for lack of a better term, not just eliminating silos like marketing separate from sales. No, it's eliminating software silos where an agent had to have 8-9 programs open in order to be able to manage the one thing they're supposed to do.
Correct.
And now it's all coming together under one stack.
Correct. The training associated, the tech transitions, and how it impacted the customer with a disconnected experience is a major sticking point. And like I said, I use Jeff as an example because I think he's made some incredible gains with his time at Truist to be able to tackle some of those things. I think generative AI also not only plays a major role in self-serving customers, but it also is going to play a major role in assisting agents to be that much more effective. So that personalized experience and what you hope to get from that human touch and humanized experience is that much more elevated in the coming years through this technology. So I'm
by the way, that's an important point you make. Everybody thinks it's the customer who's interacting with the chatbot that's infused with AI and maybe ChatGPT, but no, the agent can actually get support in real time while they're talking to the customer. And the other thing that I love, and tell me what you think about this concept, is that not only is it helping the agent get information, because the agent knows how to ask a question a certain way and interpret information, but also the machine, the computer, can also analyze who this customer is. Is this customer one that called before? Is this customer like 10,000 other customers? And if so, the machine can tell the agent, hey, this is the next question the customer doesn't know they're going to ask, but they will in a moment. It's
Correct.
uncanny.
The efficiency and effectiveness that it's going to provide for our current customer contact workforce is going to be incredible. That is where I believe, and where even to an extent through our research, we know first impact is going to happen through this technology, and then how a customer faces. That's going to be another hurdle. I mean, it will require some additional oversight. It's going to have to be rolled out with care. I think you'll hear at CCW in Las Vegas from Timnit Gebru, who's previously with Google and has really led the charge on ensuring that when we do roll out this technology, it's rolled out with a level of care and oversight, because it does have that sort of ability. It can really, I mean, I think some of the fear mongering that's out there is a bit excessive, but to really understand,
it's not unfounded though. I mean,
it's not unfounded,
yeah.
But I think we have to give ourselves some credit that we will be able to provide the right oversight and right care to ensure this is responsibly rolled out. I'd like to give people the benefit of the doubt who have who's been interacting with customers for decades and have really mastered that process, that we'll be able to also ensure how to roll out a more advanced AI and automation strategy with a level of care and a level of customer first mentality.
Yep. Cool thing happened. I'll share the story. I was 5'9", who's one of my clients and also the sponsor of our research, the amazing ACA Achieving Customer Amazement Report, which is our stab at a global CX, all the stats and facts and findings. I was at a conference and we were talking about ChatGPT, and then we got into a conversation about NPS, the Net Promoter Score. On a scale of 0 to 10, what's the likelihood you'd recommend this company after this most recent interaction, or however they want to position it? And we took a transcript of we took several transcripts of different calls that agents were having with customers, and we asked ChatGPT to guess what the NPS score would be. Unbelievable accuracy. It just blew my mind. And that's how good this is. And when it could they pinpoint it to on a scale of 0 to 10, the customer will probably give you a 9. Well, if the customer gave us an 8 or a 10, that's still a pretty damn close, but it was pretty much spot on. So I really think the analytics and the predictive analytics that this will do for us is going to be amazing.
Yeah, it comes with a ton of potential, and again, we have some real leaders out there that are starting to really think about how where it can have immediate impact and where it can have long-term impact when it comes to the customer experience. So we're excited for what it can do.
Well, let's shift gears. We only have a few minutes, but I want to talk about you already mentioned there's a difficulty in hiring and keeping the right people. Any solutions in your mind?
Yeah, and
this is pretty, high level thinking, but
no, it's been a major challenge for a long time right now. I mean, as we stand here today on May 5th, as this is recorded, we just saw unemployment drop again. The labor market's continuing to thrive even with economic headwinds, which is a good thing, but it also puts a lot of challenges in place in terms of hiring. It puts challenges in place for engaging and retaining your talent within a customer contact organization. There are a lot of misconceptions here, and so CMP Research did an incredible study on engaging and retaining agents in the hybrid environment, which, as we know, customer contact organizations went from highly on-premise pre-pandemic and are now very much remote and hybrid environments across the spectrum. So often we find that leaders will lean hard into culture. They'll lean hard into what they believe is the real driver for why people stay. They'll think, okay, it's got to be culture. We got to raise pay, it's compensation. And I'm not going to suggest that those things aren't important, but what we found is really the drivers start with the managers. Management competencies have shifted dramatically since the pandemic, and those managers of yesterday have to adopt new skill sets. We have to hire managers and promote managers that have a skill set that's more fitting for a hybrid or remote environment versus perhaps the old on-premise environment. Flexibility, so operationalizing flexibility. A lot of people think about flexibility and they say, well, what mix of hybrid? How many days are we going to be in the office? It's really more than that. It's about the process. It's about thinking about who thrives and what personalities and what personas thrive in a flexible working environment, and thinking about how we select talent accordingly to get them to stay and continue to develop. And then, Shep, it's career development. So many have treated the customer contact agent role as a role that is short-lived. You'll be here and it'll be some sort of jumping off point for another career. That's actually changed quite a bit. Our data tells us that there are many customer contact agents that want to continue to stay within this function and thrive and grow and develop. And so we've launched certain certification programs to help organizations do that. But we've really started to give a playbook around personalizing career development to allow for some of this great talent that we're hiring and spending so much time and energy hiring, develop and really climb that ladder within this great industry, which is, again, customer contact. So
right, yeah,
there's some different drivers around how to do this, but it's not an easy challenge, and it ranks very high on the what keeps you up at night for our customer contact leaders right now.
Well, I think the summarizing statement I would make is that at one point, anybody that came to work at a contact center, like you said, it was often thought of as somebody needs a job. They're just there to make money until they find what it is that they want to do. And what I challenge all the people out there, and this, by the way, goes beyond just the contact center. It's anybody that you have working for you. Do you want them working for a paycheck, or do you want them working for the company? And if you used the word culture a few moments ago, that is important. Do we have the culture that people want to work with? Are we hiring people that matches to that? And you said, let's look at their personality. What personality functions best in however we have it set up? Is it partial remote, full-time remote, all in the contact center in the office? So we've got to decide that. Basically, we're out of time, and you and I could probably talk for hours. I love to end the conversation with, and I mean, you're right there at the top of the world as far as this industry is concerned. One last nugget of information you'd like to share with us. What would that be?
I mean, I'll reiterate kind of 2 points. I think when it comes to engaging and retaining your talent within the customer contact organization, it's a critical priority right now. And what might be the playbook oftentimes isn't the playbook, and we have to think about that and sort of reimagine that to an extent, because if you get it right, there's a ton to play for, a lot of market share, tremendous talent that you could acquire that will help drive your organization into the future. And then thinking about your, optimizing self-service and thinking about what your customer preferences look like and how that's shifted, and making sure that you have the right metrics in place to really allow that to thrive, because that's going to be a big transition in the next few years. And if you're out ahead of that, that's also a big market share opportunity for those that are, kind of customer first leading organizations. So I encourage all of the people that listen to your podcast that are leading these types of groups to think about those two opportunities. And I hope to see you at CCW, Shep. And
that's the third opportunity is go to CCW, no doubt about it. And I also see a trend happening over the last several years. More and more leadership, C-suite folks are looking at the contact center really as a profit center. They're looking at it as a way to generate revenue, to retain revenue, and recognizing that person on the front line doesn't just save customers from going elsewhere. They also can bring us so many insights as to what our customers want. And we can actually look at them as an extension of R&D. There's so many important pieces of the contact center that people just sometimes don't see. They just pick up the phone and answer phone calls. No, it's so much bigger and better than that today.
Well said. Absolutely.
Well, all right, everybody, that wraps it up. Another interview. Mario, thank you very much. This is why we call it Amazing Business Radio. You're amazing. I can't wait to see you in a few weeks. And for those that are listening, please consider it. Again, June 19th through 22nd, Las Vegas. The website again is
CustomerContactWeek.com. It's 25th anniversary. Look forward to seeing everybody in Vegas.
All right. We'll be back next week with another interview. Until that time, this is Shep Hyken reminding you to always be amazing.